Join me today for an exciting room makeover in our historic late 1800s Queen Victorian home. We're going to be tackling our second story sunroom that we are converting to a work from home full-time office for my husband. You're going to be able to see us do a lot of painting, replacing some damaged ceiling, painting floors, refinishing some brick, lots going on. So I hope that you enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Thanks for watching. Here is where the second story sunroom started. It had a very kind of crusty, almost pink carpet. It had stains from some water leaks in the paneling on the ceiling. There was paneling on all of the walls. It just wasn't doing this beautiful old historic home a lot of justice. So my husband ended up taking down the paneling on the ceiling to inspect the leak, and we noticed that there was original beautiful beadboard ceilings underneath that paneling. I loved them, but sadly we were not able to keep them because they were just too damaged and we just didn't know how to go about restoring them properly. Oh my goodness. Look at that is crazy. Oh my goodness. That was like barely on there. Yeah. What? Oh, would they do glue it on? Goodness, can you believe it? Look at that. So you just saw us taking down that paneling, and of course it revealed the original brick to the outside of our house, because this used to be a porch that was covered in as it would have been a sleeping porch back in like the 1800s. That's why there's all those windows. They could sleep in there and stay cool in the hot summer months. Since we did have to sadly remove the original beadboard, I still wanted to keep that same look. And so we decided to go with beadboard ceilings, and we were also able to raise them up a bit and reveal the wood rafters that you're about to see me stain. So it actually gave us a little bit more height in the room, which was nice because the ceilings were quite low in there. I am staining the beams, and I'm using this Poly Plus stain in Jacobean satin finish. It is a bit darker than I thought it was going to be. It's almost coming across black, but I think it'll be okay. This is my husband's office, so it'll have a masculine touch to it. I did just want them to look very aged because these are the original beams to the house. And my husband is finishing up the trim around the doorways. We still have a lot to do. I want to do a German schmear on these brick walls with some joint compound. And then I also need to paint the beadboard white. And I'm also hoping this weekend that I can get to the floors and paint these. Let me show you the swatch of the color that I want to use here. It's gonna be this creamy color. nice. It's Navajo white and bare, and I got some deck paint and a gloss so that we can clean it easy. And there's our progress so far. You're actually seeing a lot of work that has already been done in this room. My husband started working on this room months before we actually got to this portion of it. It was before I started my YouTube channel, so I really didn't document much of it, but we had a ton of trimming to do. It's been a lot of work. These old homes, they have a lot of uneven spaces, so it just requires a lot of extra fine-tuning. All right, I have all of the beams stained. So now we are moving on to priming the beadboard and some of the trim. So this will be huge progress once we can get some of that painted. I'm excited to see that. So I was very eager to begin painting this beadboard because I knew that was going to make the biggest impact in the room, but I thought that maybe I could do it without having to tape off all of these beams, because that is like the worst thing to do. And I tried using this plastic piece, but it did not work. It was horrible. It was getting everywhere. So thankfully my husband was done with his project and he was able to tape everything off so beautifully, and he does such a great job at that. So once everything was taped off, the process went much smoother. I still did have to do a lot of touch-ups afterward, but definitely take the time to just tape it off. Still painting the ceiling. It is taking a long time. I would definitely recommend getting the white stuff, but we couldn't find it when we went, and so I think they were out. And so we opted for this, which actually it's definitely more heavy duty, so that part is nice about it. But I am ready to move on to doing my German schmear on the brick wall here. So I'll show you guys how I'm gonna do that. Okay, so all I plan to do is take some all-purpose joint compound and just kind of smear it onto my brick, especially focusing on these areas here where there was glue left over from the paneling that was glued on that we weren't able to get off. So I'm definitely not gonna go for perfection. I'm just going to try and go for a rustic, old world look. All right, I'm speeding this up for you kind of for obvious reasons. You probably don't want to watch me do this in real time for the next 30 minutes or so. But if you've never done this before, it's pretty much fail-proof. You just put it on as thick or as thin as you want. And I'm just kind of trying to focus it on the big glue gobs that are everywhere. I want those to be covered, and I thought that this was kind of the best way to go about it, and it would also help to brighten the room. So I'm just kind of freely applying it. However, and if it looks like it needs more, then I'll add more, and you can kind of take some away by using the spatula to scrape some away, but it's really just up to your artistic vision that you have doing this technique. day 2 in our office makeover. Today we need to put the final coat, hopefully, of paint on the beadboard ceiling and on the trim. And I'm also hoping that we can get to the floors today and get those painted. So lots and lots of finishing work, lots of cleanup, lots of painting. We are getting close, you guys. We are finally getting to the finishing touches. I'm going around and caulking every crack that I can find in this room because I just think that that always makes a room look more polished, and it even makes it look more structurally sturdy. So I'm definitely taking the time to do that. I'm also going around and doing some deep cleaning. I'm going to be scrubbing all of these windows, all of the panes and the sills, because I also give all of this stuff just a nice clean, fresh coat of paint. I always love to really give any room that we're making over and renovating a really, really good deep clean, especially these old 100-plus-year-old homes. They definitely can always use a really good scrub. Okay, the tape is down. That was not a fun job. And I can very confidently tell you that I much prefer the green, the frog tape, over the blue painter's tape. For instance, let me just show you. This was the green tape, and this was the blue tape. Big difference. Oops, not focusing. There we go, big difference. Lots of bleeding with the blue. It was much harder to get off. The green came off super easy and very clean. So now I have to get all of this cleaned up and probably touch up some of that stain. And then hopefully I can paint the floors tonight, and then we'll be done with this office room makeover. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my stain and I'm just gonna touch up some of the big bullied spots. I'm not gonna do every little thing. I am a perfectionist, but I wanna get this done. So I'm just gonna touch up some quick spots, and then hopefully we can get the floors ready for paint. Okay, so here is the color that I got for the floor here in the office. I wanted something warmer since it's so white and kind of stark in here. I wanted to warm it up and soften it up a little bit. And I've really been loving creams lately. My thought was, well, my husband loves coffee, so I was thinking the color scheme in here could kind of be vanilla latte, coffee, cream, whites and stuff. So that was kind of where my mind was at when I chose this color. But of course I'm second guessing it. But this is the color. It is Navajo White. While you're watching me prepare the floors for paint, I do just want to say that We really didn't take the proper time to prepare these floors like we should have, as far as we probably should have sanded them and all that kind of stuff. So we were getting some chipping from the paint, but I'm going to just be honest with you, that is probably because I ended up adding a little bit of stain into my paint because the color was just a little bit too warm, and surprisingly that actually worked out amazingly perfect because it turned the paint color the exact tone and shade that I wanted, but that may have messed with the formula a little bit. So don't do what I do. I just, my artistic side of me just kind of takes over versus like the functional side of actually the products that I'm using. But anyway, I don't mind if it chips a little bit because I actually like the color that's underneath the cream colored paint. So anyway, I thought I would just share that with you really quick. And here is a reminder of where this room started, from pink, crusty old carpet to stained wood paneling walls and ceilings to a bright, fresh, clean room with higher ceilings, contrasting original 100-year-old beams on the ceiling. We really love how it turned out. My husband loves working in this space. I'll show you how we have it set up for him currently in the next few clips. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching us transform our second story sunroom into kind of an unused room, into a beautiful work from home office that is bright and sunny. If you enjoyed this video, I invite you to subscribe and please like and leave me a comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.